Are you excited? I'm pumped for this.
I'm really excited. A lot of people are excited to learn some things.
I know. Okay, one more and then we're good.
All right, let's go.
Okay, go.
Love you.
Bye. Love you.
What's up?
Not much. You better go. You're gonna get in trouble.
I'm already in trouble.
Yeah,
I live in trouble.
Bye. Okay, we're good now. Okay, so good evening, everyone. Erin Tweed here, Presidential Diamond. So I'm super excited to have Rachel Jones on with me tonight. She is the queen of Instagram. And so yeah, you get to get that name now. So I'm super excited to be talking with her tonight. She has been killing it. And so just being able to share some tips with us so that way we can all help our businesses grow and grow them effectively. So Rachel, let's kind of talk about what does your day look like, you know, when it comes to Instagram and just like what you're doing.
My day, okay, well, with Instagram, first of all, like, I just think everybody needs to know that it takes a lot of discipline because Instagram is so much, it's just a lot more time consuming than Facebook. So I plan my day out the night before. I just recently started using the airplane mode. So what that means is I turn off my Wi-Fi and then I put on airplane mode. And before I go to bed, I plan my posts because whether or not I'm doing anything the next day, it's easy to forget to post more frequently on Instagram. And I post a lot on Instagram. I try to post 6 to 8 times a day. So I turn off my Wi-Fi and I turn on my airplane mode. And I usually plan, I'm trying to pull up my Instagram. I already started for tomorrow. I usually plan like just a few posts. I'll just show what it looks like. It's gonna look like this when you put it on airplane mode. It means it just failed. And then when I turn my airplane mode on and then I put my Wi-Fi back on, I can literally just click on the arrow and it's gonna post it. So I can just post every hour or whenever I want. That is what I start with doing the night before. And when I'm planning my post, I find I make some myself, but I also go to some of the top leaders and I find some of their templates they use. We call them templates because we edit our information into it. So I'm not going to copy word for word something that Erin does because it doesn't always pertain to me. And so I think that's important too, is find a leader you really like and you trust and you like their posts, and then don't just copy it word for word, but kind of put your life into it. So I do that with some of the leaders. And something I actually just learned last night from one of my leaders on my team, Savannah, she told me what she does is she goes to some of the top leaders, and sometimes I think we have to remember is as we promote, and obviously I think you do some things different than me as a presidential. I sometimes find myself thinking like, it's hard for me to compare myself to you because you're higher than I am. So something that Savannah brought up, which is a really good point, is she's been going to like Tiffany Her and Jade Hooper, and she's been going to like their YouTube channels or their posts from when they were at her level. So like diamond status or double diamond status. And she's been seeing what they've been doing at that level because she believes, you know, we all do things at different ranks. Maybe you might post differently than I am because does that make sense?
Yeah, for sure.
Because it's sometimes I feel like hard for distributors to relate to, you know, presidential diamonds. So I've been doing that too. I've been really doing research on some of the top leaders, and I've been going back to before they promoted to where they are. That's pretty much what my day consists of, is following. I like to dedicate hours of my day to just following a mass amount of people and interacting with them as I follow them. When I'm planning my post though, something I wrote down for my day is I try to take one selfie, at least one family picture. So that means it's me, my husband, and my son. And then I like to take one of just my son, and then one of food. And then I like to do a loyal customer post. And then the rest are just life posts. And when I take those pictures, I make them like lifestyle posts. So if it's just of Carter, I'm saying something about loving time with him, with my family, it's being retired. And I really, 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 really love lifestyle posts. I believe in them 110%.
Yeah, For sure. Well, kind of what I've been doing, and I think something that's important too is, like Rachel said in the beginning, it's it's a time consuming to build your business on Instagram. So it takes a lot more time, because the way I look at it with Facebook is people have been following your journey for a while and they get to know your statuses and feelings and stuff. With Instagram, it's just a quick little blurb of your life, and so it takes longer for people to kind of come to you in that mindset. So don't get discouraged if it doesn't happen right away. It's a slow process, and we're going to talk about, gaining followers and building followers. But I think it's important too, like when you're building your business, I post every 2 to 3, like most of the time right now, 2 hours, every 2 hours. Because on Facebook, what's different is if somebody likes your post, you're going to pop up to the top of the newsfeed. On Instagram, it's your one shot to make an impression. So I think that that's really what's key in these posts, is you want to make sure that they mean something, that they really show who you are, and that you're thoughtful in them, because you've got that one shot and that one opportunity that you don't know whose eye you're going to catch. And so I think that that's important too for people that are just getting started. So now when you talk about like lifestyle posts and stuff, I know you kind of mentioned templates. Are you using those templates but really kind of wording? Because I know we've really spoiled everybody with kind of our 30-day push post. And so, what I see a lot out now is just a lot of people using the exact same thing. And so what are like key things that you're using like with the templates, or what are you making sure to change? Does that question kind of make sense?
Yeah. So well, first of all, like because last night I stayed up really late to just copy a lot of posts. And what I do is if I see one that I really like, I'll copy it and I put it into Notepad right away, because I'm not trying to use the same post as every single person that same day, because then I feel like it looks spammy. So if I were like to see a post I really liked that you did, and I copy it and I put it into my Notepad, I'm obviously going to change my phone number, because I'll throw myself under the bus. I've been lazy before and done it really fast, and I haven't changed the phone number, and that's embarrassing. So you want to make sure you change the phone number. Make sure you're just really reading them, because my income's not the same as your income. I might have 3 kids when you have 1, or I've just seen people slip up, and you can tell it's just from being lazy. And it's like some college students are using mommy posts, and it's just, we have to really pay attention. So I try to really pay attention to the posts and make it based around my life, because obviously I retired at a different age and different time than you. Yeah, I don't know. I just think it's really important that we keep on stressing to read through it and remember to just tie it around your guys' life. Even though it might be really good, if you post it, I need to tweak it.
Well, just make sure you save it. Yeah. Well, make sure you save your changes, because I'm guilty. I kept doing that, and I kept putting October and it's really November. I literally have done that 3 times this week. It's all right. It happens.
But really utilize Notepad, guys.
Yeah, I have kind of, and I think with the templates too, it's kind of just like with your wording, figure out what works for you. And so this will kind of lead us into messaging, kind of the portion of messaging with Instagram. But, some templates, like some people talk about, I know Jocelyn Yates loves on Instagram, she loves to say, leave your email below. Some people leaving their email below does not work for them. So figure out kind of what wording works best for you. These templates are really just a guide to help you in reaching out to people. So again, that brings us to messaging. So Rachel, how do you go about messaging people? Are you messaging each and every person, whether they like your stuff, whether they don't? How are you doing that?
I'm really crazy with messaging. I really like how in the beginning you said Instagram is different, because I feel like on Facebook, it's easier for people to come to me, but on Instagram, I've maybe had 1 or 2 people come to me on their own. It's harder for them. I don't know why. But so because of knowing that, I message them right away. I don't wait for them to like my post. So as I'm following people and they follow me back, I automatically go to their profile. And if they look like an attractive person, and when I explain this to my team, when I say like an attractive person, that doesn't mean you have to be, like model status. But I'm saying like, you're presentable. You're not posting inappropriate things, and you're not just being inappropriate. You're being professional in a manner, and I want you on my team. I go to their profile, I go to grid view because that means that makes it so you can literally just scroll on through and I like. I try to like at least 8 of their pictures and comment on one. If I'm feeling really cool and nice, I comment on more than one, but that's really time consuming. And then right away when I do that, I copy their their name. So like this girl right here, her name's like Oh Dear Valerie, and I really liked her. She had like 6,000 likes on her, or 6,000 followers. I liked all of her stuff, and then I sent her a message right away, and that's where I went into my cold messaging that I have. And when they respond right away, I try to give them my phone number, and I've found out the past couple weeks like how to word it nicely, because it's kind of sometimes creepy if you message them and then they message you, what's your business? And then you say, oh, can I have your phone number? Sometimes it scares people away. So I found what works for me is when usually they respond to, oh my gosh, that's so sweet of you. What's your business? Or what's your dream team? I always say, is it easier for you just to text me? My number is this. And then usually they'll message me. There are a couple people that will be like, can we just talk on here first? Yeah. And that's when I just get into, what I wrote down, the biggest tip I could do is obviously what Erin said. What you said is finding what works for you. And I have 4 templates. My first one, and I save these in my notepad. My first one is the typical cold message. I usually just say, you're gorgeous. I love your personality. I need you on my dream team. And then I usually just say 3 sentences about my life. I've been telling my team this because I don't want to just give everybody my script, because I don't want us all to be messaging the same people. And that's what works for me. That's my first template. And then they usually respond back with like, thank you so much. I give them my number. And I usually right away when they text me, I say, I wanted to share my story with you first. And I have my story, my long story typed out in a notepad. And I say, sorry, it's long. I just really got to share my story with you. I send them my story. And then they usually respond back saying how awesome my story is. So what does it include? What is this business about? That's my third template. And I have a 4 little paragraph template, and I won't read it word for word, but it's just, my business is It Works Global. I've been in it for a year. It's network marketing. And then I just say, we have over 30 products. It's health and wellness company. The biggest thing now is this Ruby bonus, $500. We'd work together. If you believe in the company, people buy the person before the product, blah, blah, blah. It's pretty short. This is literally the whole thing. I have that in Notepad too. So I'm not overwhelming them, but I'm giving them just the amount of information to understand what I'm talking about. Yeah. And then usually we just keep on talking. And the 4th one is the $99 template. And that is something that, I don't know who made that one up, if it was Tiffany, but it's been on the page for a long time. And I even
did it when I signed up.
You made it?
Yeah, that's what Alyssa sent to me. So it's been out as long as I've been.
Yeah, I love that one. But I found that it kind of is overwhelming to, I don't know if it's just the group I'm targeting, but people have been like very overwhelmed when I've sent it. So I've even tweaked that. But I think the most important thing is like I use all 4 of those. And I'm not saying people have to use those 4, but I have all 4 of them tweaked the way I like it in my notepad so that my conversations, they roll fast. And as you start cold messaging like 50 people at a time, it's going to get really overwhelming. And it really saves me having those to send to them as I'm having like multiple conversations at once.
Yeah.
But the biggest thing with cold messaging, I think, is not waiting for them to message you first or to like your post, because it's taken me a really long time to get my likes up. I'm just now getting like 15 to 20 likes on my stuff. That doesn't sound like a lot, but on Instagram, I feel like it's a lot.
Yeah, for sure. I think, for me, I just started really messaging people that I've just added after I kind of look at their page, because, some people I really don't even want on my team.
Yeah.
But, I think about it is you can't just sit back and wait and expect or only wait for people to like your stuff. And that's kind of something that I've learned just in starting to message new people, is people that have never liked my stuff. Now I'm engaging in conversations. And so I think it's really important to keep it simple, because a lot of people, like you said, can get overwhelmed with stuff. So I think tweaking it to what works for you, or don't get yourself overwhelmed, because a lot of times I'll get questions and people will screenshot me and they'll be like, oh my God, what do I say? And the question is like, what is your business? And it's like, just all you have to tell them is we have like 30 products. It's an amazing company. We've been debt free. Like it's the same information. So don't get so in that you're so overwhelmed that you can't even have that conversation. You know, be confident in what you're saying too, because people can read into that. If you're just copy and pasting like a whole big text, they know that you're doing that. And so you want to make sure that you are personal and figure out what works best for you. Now let's talk about your account. Like, are you public or private?
I'm public, but I'm to a point where, because I know this is such a debate on private or public, I'm to the point where I have 1,400 followers, and I got up there pretty fast, but now I'm like really struggling with getting people to follow me back, and I'm also losing a lot of followers. So I don't know why that is, but I'm wondering if maybe I should try out private. I personally picked public because I felt like people are more apt to giving me a chance if they see like that I'm a real person, rather than having it be private and then maybe my name them not recognizing my name and maybe being sketchy if they can't see my pictures. I don't know. That's how I think about it. But I think you're on private, right?
I am. So I went public, and I think I kind of had that too. And so what I noticed is that if just because we'll kind of talk about like the little blurb about you, but people can see all that. And so I've had a lot of followers that way. You know, I probably within the last month or so, I've gained at least 1,000 to 1,500 followers, and we'll talk about how I've built that. But I think too is when we talk about the app Crowdfire, you can copy anybody that's public. And so, you know, you need to be cautious in this business about who your followers are, because you're working that relationship. And so that's just kind of my safety point in keeping my account private. That way people can't just go in and copy my followers as well. So that's just what I figured has worked for me. I think, you know, like Alyssa, she has 27,000 people. Like, her followers aren't going anywhere. But you know, that's the thing. When I'm still building my business, I want them to stay there. And so I think that that's really kind of what's worked for me. But I did go back and forth, and then I've just had a lot more followers with being private. So again, that's one of the things, just to see what works for you. Like some people really rock it out being public, some do better with private. And so that'll kind of lead me to building followers. So Rachel, I'll let you kind of talk about how you've built your followers, and then I'll go over what I do with Crowdfire and building my, you know, kind of following.
I actually learned something really cool, and I wasn't going to share it because I was feeling really selfish with knowing about it, and I didn't want to share it, even though it's not even something I found out, but something I learned from one of our leaders in Indiana, actually, and hopefully she doesn't kill me for telling the whole world this. But because I know, like, I've come to a point on Instagram, I first used Crowdfire. I don't want to get into Crowdfire because you'll probably explain it better than me. I utilized Crowdfire in the beginning, copying followers from, like, I picked the show The Bachelor because it's like a popular show, but it's not, like, I don't know how to compare it to. Like, the people on there, they're famous, but they're not famous like Beyonce famous, if that makes sense. And I was finding out on Crowdfire when I was trying to follow someone like, let's say, Beyonce, there was a lot of like teenagers, really young kids, and it was kind of taking more of my time because I was following all these people, and then I'm like, oh my gosh, that girl's 11, that girl's 10, and then I had to unfollow them. So when I picked The Bachelor, and then like I picked girls and guys off The Bachelor, I don't know, it was just more adults on there. So I gained a lot of my followers through that. I was just following like everybody who liked crystals. And then I was doing that. But something I learned, because I was trying to figure out how to, you know, go international. I want people in New Zealand and I want people in Germany. And something that someone shared was, because I've never ever followed people from hashtags. I know there are people that do that, but that's never been successful for me. Something that I've learned is if you go to the search bar, you'll see the places at the top. And if you use Google, like cities in Germany, and then like just keep on going, like, and then like shops in Germany. If you just, I don't know, I can't think, I'm not good with this stuff, so I can't even think of one off the top of my head. But if you find it, you'll see like people start to check in at those places. And then I've clicked the places, and then you'll see like maybe someone went out to dinner there. And then I go to her and I follow her, and then I go to all of her friends, and then you just keep going. And then before you know it, you have 50 people from Germany. That's something that I've gotten a lot of followers through. But I know a lot of people are successful by using different hashtags, but I've literally used Crowdfire, and I copy followers from halfway famous people. That's what I do.
Yeah.
And sometimes I do, and that's why it's scary that you said that thing about public and how like I just changed mine to private now that you said that, but before, like, someone can literally go to my profile as public and go to my followers and follow, and it's scary because that's what I do, like with like the New Zealand people or with someone who has 5,000 followers. That's really what I do. I just start following them, and then I find someone, and I keep going to their friends and their friends and their friends so that they're far enough away that hopefully they don't have any It Works people, and I just follow.
Yeah. Well, the other thing too is like when you're posting and it says you can add location, a good one too is just to add like your city or like if you're traveling, so that way you can click on that. So I always put Houston, Texas. I don't put Katy. So that way I can click on Houston, Texas, and that expands my market to, you know, we're the 4th largest city in the world or in the United States. So being able to reach the people that are more local too, that helps as well. So I think that that's another good tip. You know, you can also go international too. So I'm going to talk about Crowdfire. And so this is an app. I use this one more so. I have Followers Plus, but I don't really care for it. So what I do is this is kind of my schedule with Crowdfire. So Crowdfire is an app that allows you to copy followers of different people, or you can unfollow mass amounts. So it's up to like, it's anywhere from like 120 to 150 an hour. So what I did initially is I set my notifications on Crowdfire so that way it notifies me every hour. So I'll get a little ding that like my hour's been up and I can go back and follow. So I'll go to the little sidebar and it'll say copy followers. And then I will type in my favorite boutique, or I'll just type in like whatever, and I'll follow a lot of people that way. And so I do 2 days of this. So I follow, I'll do like, let's say Monday, I'll do this 3 times a day. So I'll follow pretty much up to like 400 to 450 people. And then I'll do that again Tuesday, same thing. So that's almost 900 people. Then Wednesday, I'll spend the day unfollowing all those people that haven't followed me back. And so that's really kind of what's worked for me. And then having my account private, you have to approve the followers. So when I go to, can you see that? Yeah. So when I go to approve my followers, when I click on their account, I can do it, but also liking their pictures at the same time. So I don't ever have to go back in and kind of make sure and scroll through. They're all right there. So I just do it boom, 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 boom. And so that's kind of really what's worked for me. Now, also something too that Alyssa had shared was, going to your favorite boutique and looking at people, if they comment all the time on there, those are people that are very in tune to social media. If you are going to use hashtags, I would suggest using very minimal, because that's how you can get a lot more spammy accounts or spammy people following you. But I think the beauty with Crowdfire is you can do it and you can do it quickly. So that way it's a good range to build up your following pretty quickly. So if you have, it doesn't take more than like 5 seconds, because I'll literally just I'll type in my favorite boutique, and then I'll say, let's find this one. And then I'll copy their followers and hit that little button. And I've already copied theirs. But I'll just literally go 1, 2, 3, 4.
It's so
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And just go right down the line and not even have to worry about it. Yeah, so like this, I can just go, and if they look in that little blurb of the picture, if they look decent, I add them. And then I can always go back, and then that just kind of keeps it balanced. So I've went from probably, because I'm almost at 3,000 followers, and I was not even at 1,000 when I started this, probably like a good month ago. So I think that that's something that really works for me. If you find another app that works better for you, then go for it. But I just feel like Crowdfire, it allows you to follow a lot more people at one time, and you can do it pretty quickly. So especially if you're working full-time or you've got stuff going on, this is really a good thing. So I love that I get a notification too. So that way it'll just it's kind of almost like my normal reminder, like, hey, you should get on there and copy your followers. So some days I copy a lot more. Some days, if I'm doing stuff, I only do my 3 times, but it really just depends on what I've got my schedule, those kind of things. Anything else you want to add on the followers?
Something else. Oh, damn it. I'm echoing. I'm echoing. It's okay. I don't know why I'm echoing. Oh, there. Perfect. Okay. Anyway, something that I remind my team when I'm like giving them tips on Instagram is I really like how you reminded them not to just follow and then before you go to bed that same night unfollow, because you could not everybody's on Instagram all the time like we are, so you might unfollow them before they even see that you followed them. Something that I like to remember or remind is I go to my following like when I'm bored, because sometimes I go so fast with following I don't get to interact with them while they're waiting, like the public accounts. And interact with those that you're following, because sometimes people will accept your request but not follow you back. And maybe if you go to their profile, like this Megan girl, if I go to her profile, like I could have requested to follow her and then she accepted it but then just kind of pushed me aside. If I go to her profile and then start liking all of her stuff, she could see me again and then be like, oh, I never followed her back, I'm going to follow her. I've gained a lot of followers that way from people that I followed like months ago, but I never interacted with them. So try to remember to interact with them before you unfollow them, because maybe your little interacting can get them to follow you back before you unfollow them.
Yeah, most definitely. And I think that's definitely like the biggest thing is, just it's a lot of discipline, but it's so worth it when you start. And I think, like, because I talked to one of the girls when we were at leadership and I kind of taught her what I was doing, and she messaged me and she said, oh my God, Erin, thank you so much. I have 10 new potential distributors now just from what you showed me. And I was like, okay, like I'm not doing anything special, but it's just what's worked for me. And now I have probably 50 plus new potentials just from in the last 2 weeks. And so that's what I think is huge. And those are people that have their phone number, not even the ones that I'm talking through via Messenger. So I think it's really important. The other thing that I want to talk about is like your pictures and like kind of your little blurb about yourself, your bio. And I know Alyssa talked about it at the team meeting, is really making sure that it's, like I said, when people are looking at your account and that's what they can see, you want to make sure that it's something bold, it's something true about you. It's kind of short and simple to the point, but it kind of goes over exactly who you are as a person. So, we could share our templates, but that you're not us. And so that's the thing, that was one big thing that I learned, is just really making it something about you and making it something bold, because like I said in the beginning, Facebook, people can follow your journey and they can have more feelings because they can see your statuses and stuff. But Instagram, it's not like that. It's just a quick little action. And so I think that that's something that is super important. So do you have any advice on that? Or like kind of, we can talk about pictures and editing and stuff too.
Well, I think it's kind of a given. Sorry if I offend anybody that doesn't think it's a given, but not putting raps in your name, like Rachel Rap Girl, like, because I think as we go on and we're getting bigger and bigger and expanding, people are like catching on, and you'll start to see in their bios, no raps, please, or something about they just don't want rap people spamming them. So I like to keep my name professional. Mine's just Rach Jones, because Rachel Jones is a common name and I could not just get a simple Rachel Jones. And in my bio, I just have, I think it's important to use a lot of emojis, make them think you're real. I mean, I know you don't, Erin, and you look really professional that way, but I just literally do like wifey, super mommy, pitbull mommy, my phone number, and my Facebook. I know the Facebook is another debate, like whether or not you should include it, but I've had a lot of people, kind of like the shyer people that don't want to reach out, copy my Facebook link and add me on Facebook and message me on Facebook rather than Instagram, and that it automatically goes into my others folder. And it was actually when we were on Tiffany's retreat, I was just going through my others folder and I found 4 from September that I missed, and they were like, hey, it's so-and-so from Instagram. I saw your Facebook on here, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, crap, I put my Facebook on there and I'm not even utilizing it because I'm not even paying attention. But I like to advise to put your Facebook link on there, but I know not everybody does that. And I've gotten a lot of texts. The more and more followers I get, like, I've been trying to be organized, so I have like this page, and these are all the phone numbers. I get so many people texting me now as I am getting better at Instagram. So I like keeping my phone number on there as well so that people can text me, because I would rather text than talk on Instagram.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, mine is very, like, as you can see it, it's pretty simple, short and sweet. And this is something that I don't know if you've noticed on Facebook too, but now Facebook allows you to have a bio. And so it's pretty much just kind of copied and pasted over there. But the way that I organize my phone numbers, when I get, like, this is what helps me, is I literally put in all my contacts as PDT. And so I have all of these people, and so I can just go into my phone book and just mass it, or message them all on Fridays for my follow-ups or whatnot. And I have to have names. So as soon as they text me or I ask if I can text them, I have to get their name. And that's just something, that way I can always say, hey, so-and-so, I know that you were so set on doing this, or you were so passionate about getting started. Like, let's go ahead and get you going, or something like that, And I guess this will be too, because I asked you the other day, following up on Instagram with all of these people, how often are you following up? What are you saying? Because it is different. And so I loved what you said the other day, but it probably shouldn't be repeated.
I know. I'm laughing because I really annoy myself. Like, if I was on the opposite end, I feel like I get really annoyed, but I'm not going to stop until someone tells me to stop, because I don't know the ratio. I've heard a lot of different ones, something like 7 to 19 times, however many times it takes to follow up between some people come to you. But I'm sorry. I follow up a lot. I really follow up like every other day. And I'm kind of annoying, but I'm just really excited. And a lot of times when I get down to that 4th or 5th one, they're like, I've had lately, because I go through phases with my responses, and lately they've been like, oh my gosh, I'm sorry, I work 3 jobs. Sorry, I've been ignoring you. I really still want to know information. So I'm kind of like, okay, so yeah, I'm kind of annoying myself and like wondering if it's too much, but they're not telling me to stop, and they like it, even though they're not responding. So I think we have to remember, because it's like, let me try to find one, because you'll start to see like blue, like, oh, that blue's all me, and it's like starts to get annoying, because I'm like, I'm only talking to myself, and it can kind of like get in your head, like, maybe I should stop and take this person off my list. And I think we have to remember, like, we don't know what's going on their end, and a lot of times they're just busy. And it comes to a point where I've had people say like, I'm sorry, I'm not interested. Could you stop contacting me? And I don't get upset or anything, so I'm like, thank you. I will definitely take you off my list. So they're really going to tell you to stop if you're annoying them. Mm-hmm. So many people are busy and whatnot. I really do follow up usually like every other day. And I'm not saying the same thing. I switch it up, like, hey girl, I'm honestly not trying to bother you, but I seriously can't stop thinking about you. I think you do so well. One of Jocelyn Yates' videos, she had like a lot of different templates, like, I just found out my CEO, whatever he did for the $500 bonus, I just found out I only have 1 spot left. Like, there's a lot of things you can say, but just be real and excited. And then I feel like you're not really that annoying. But I know Tiffany posted hers last week, I think, and she literally does it on Fridays. So you could do it as much as you want, but I just think it's really important to just follow up, period. Because a lot of people, when you're new, you don't think about it, and you'll just message them one time, and if they don't respond, you're like, okay, they're done, but they're really not. A lot of people are just really scared to respond right away.
Yeah. Well, something that I love to do is I keep a list of everybody that I've kind of been contacting, but I have, their phone numbers. And so if they haven't responded, I go and blow their shit up on Instagram. So sorry my language, but I do. I just go after it, and then I'll comment on stuff, and then I get messages back, oh my God, I'm so sorry, my phone was broken or whatever. And I think that that's something that you're still on their mind, because they're not ever telling you no. They're just ignoring you for right now because they're still sitting there on the fence. So it's okay to keep, being that little birdie in their ear, like, hey, I'm still here. I'm still here. And I think that that's something that's super important to do. And that's kind of what's worked for me. Because, they may say, hey, this isn't the time right now, but that doesn't mean that they're saying no to that you can't ever follow up with them again. I have some girls that are like, I've got finals and stuff. I just need to wait until the end of the month after this semester's over. And so that's the time I'm like, another thing too that I like to do is if people say that they're going to join soon, I ask them for a date. Yeah. And I say, let's go ahead and set up a date that we can get you enrolled. I'm going to put you in my calendar so that way I have time to set up everything with you and kind of go over each and everything. And so that way we can walk through the website and getting you enrolled and all those different things. So I think that that's super, super, super important too. And kind of what's worked for me. So I think that's all I really have. Is there anything else that I'm missing?
No, I think there was something I was gonna say. I couldn't remember. Oh, well, just something, just because also, like, I'll just be honest, I'm not really good with getting people on the phone. I don't know if you do that, but I'm still kind of nervous with that. So, and not everybody wants to. Some people are still freaked out with that. Midway through my conversation, I like to screenshot like just my Facebook profile, because I guess there's a lot of Rachel Jones out there. And I say, hey, add me on Facebook, so that they can see that I'm a real person. And if they have an iPhone, I've been voicing them. And if they add me on Facebook and they don't have an iPhone, I've done voice messaging through Messenger. And I just usually like make up something about my dog or something, why I can't text, and say like, I just wanted you to be able to hear my voice and I can explain it better. And then like they can hear my excitement, but I'm not having to talk to them on the other line. And I've had a lot of people interact better with that and ask me more questions rather than texting, because some people can read a long spiel through a text and like it could go over their head, but you could record yourself and it sounds a different way. So that's also something that has helped me. But that's pretty much all I really have.
Okay. I love that you brought that up, because something, I think it's important to figure out the person and what's their best form of communication, because some people don't like to text. And I always, if I do send them the investment template, I always say, let's set up a time, or whatever, that we can go over your questions, and kind of giving them that space to go over everything. But some people love to be on the phone. Some people love to text. Some people want email. So I think gearing it to what they do, but just don't forget to follow up, because I think that the fortune's in the follow up, because you don't want to invest so much time in building that relationship with them and then sending them the info, and then you don't even put in the effort to follow up with them. They're just still kind of hanging out there. So I think it's really important to continue to follow up, because like Alyssa, she started following or messaging me in May, and I didn't join until the end of July. And had she not followed up with me again, I probably wouldn't have joined. It was just one of those things. So I think that that's why it's really, really important to keep building those relationships and keep liking their stuff, because they're still going to see that you're one of their likes, and just those little things. So the other thing that I'm going to add with the pictures and kind of making your profile, make sure that your pictures are like crisp and clean and bright and pretty on Instagram. Because again, like, yes, you want to show that you're a real person and different things, but this is a quick snapshot into your life. And so people love pretty pictures. They just do. They love to see pretty pictures. And so, not to say go and edit it so much where your teeth are literally neon, or like you got all this blush on and we know you don't wear that much blush, like whatever. Don't go like that. But the thing is, make it crisp and clean. And so that way it's bright and it pops and it's going to catch the eye as people are scrolling. And I think that that's what's really important. I post a quote every morning. And something that I've noticed too is I didn't want my whole page to be kind of filled with quotes. So I'll go and delete some quotes a few days later, just so that way too I can repost them. But also another thing too is, if you are posting before and afters, after like a day or two, take them down, like delete them, and then just keep that one up there. So that way when people are looking at your main page, they're not just seeing a ton of before and afters. They're really focusing on just your major snapshots of your life. And that's the way I like to think of Instagram, is it's a snapshot into your life. And so you really want to put what's best out there, so that way people can really get to know you. So I think that's pretty much all that we have for tonight. And we hope you all enjoy this training. I'm so excited. I think that this is going to help so many people. And I've gotten quite a few texts while we're on, so it looks good. Yes. So thank you so much, Rachel, and have a good night. And that's it. All right. Have a good weekend, everybody.